So yeah, first tell me about yourself. So your band guys, that's really all I know. Came so fast. So Canada calls me and says, "Hey, I have this friend," and and they want to look for someone to interview, and then next thing you know, Cody's texting me or messaging me, and then it's not even a week. It's like tomorrow, and so I get a chance to wash my hair, dress up a little, yay! So
this is I know it's last minute, and we wanted to get it out there as soon as possible. But our mutual friend Steve Santini,
shout out to Santini.
I don't know him. My girlfriend does.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay. The way I mean, we reached out to him, and like in a minute, he's like, "This is your girl." So we just assumed he'd known. You were like, "All right, right on." Then we'll hit her.
I'm like Mikey. I'm like, let's do it. Yeah.
Oh, then it really came out of left field. You're like, "Who's this guy and why?" Oh, fuck it, sure, let's do it.
Yeah, no, I have nothing to do. I'm sitting here all holed up for what now, a year, and I'm like, "You want me to do something? I'll do anything. Well, almost anything. Well, probably anything."
And with that, welcome to another edition of A Lot's Happened Since Yesterday. My name is Cody Walker.
A lot's happened since yesterday.
I'm Ralph Busso, and this is going to be entertaining to say the least.
And
with
yes, just in case that was not a joke, we are recording. I just figured we just go straight into it.
Oh my God.
Our guest
I'm best on the fly. Go ahead.
Our guest today is Christine Larson. Larson, how you doing, Christine?
I'm fabulous.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead, Ralph. I'm sorry. You were in the middle of saying something.
No. I was just going to ask Christine what her official title in the paranormal world would be.
I get to name my own title because there really is no title for any of this stuff. It's a hobby that I do because I have a day job. But I'm a paranormal investigator. I've delved into other things, on a spiritual side, because if you've done this long enough, you tend to kind of learn other things, and it's fun. I call it fun school after doing this. I've been kind of doing this for over 15 years. I can't, time flies when you're having fun. And I kind of consider myself a wanderlust, an adventurer, an explorer. And I just happened to kind of travel around and kind of get into the paranormal. So it's been a really, really fun hobby that I've just grown to love and do over the last 15 years. And so it's been a lot of fun. So I would just stick with paranormal investigator.
That works. We can deal with that.
Yeah. I'm a good connector of people too. So that's the one thing in all the years I've done this, it's fun to connect people with projects, do different things, meet people, travel around. I mean, it's all win-win if it's something you're interested in doing.
Right. And now, as you said, this is, we're having this conversation in this manner because legitimately we met at this point, 4 minutes ago at this point, maybe. This is all coming so fast because our guests might be going, well, why the hell are they talking to a paranormal investigator out of nowhere? It's coming. It's coming. This came fast because this honestly is immediate. Ralph, why are we here so quickly?
Well,
tell us now, edge of our seat.
Everybody likes current events, so I figured, well, let's keep it current. So this happened like not even a week ago. Okay, so basically what happened is I've been working this night job. It's a graveyard shift. It's a security job, and I've been working at this big warehouse. It's like a distribution center, and so they've got all these trucks and trailers filled with freight, all kinds of goods, and they store them there, and then they move them along to the other stores. So I have to keep an eye on this freight because they have a lot of break-ins, especially during the pandemic. They've had tons of break-ins, people breaking in and breaking into the trailers and stealing stuff. So anyways, this place has a ton of history as well. They have a bunch of homeless people that have taken like you know, they've camped out in the back of this area, and it's like a desert area. You can see the mountains and everything, and there's like a bunch of wildlife out there. But anyway, apparently they've been breaking into cars and they've been breaking into the trailers, and so they've beefed up security. So we've been, throughout this whole pandemic, we've been back there in force. And I work the graveyard shift, so it's most likely that when they break in, it's going to be when I'm working. So anyways,
Taste of the Bronx.
Taste of the Bronx, man. I gotta take care of business, bro. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, so we've got these camera systems. They're high tech. They're infrared camera systems, and they got these big lights back there. And so usually we're just watching the cameras, and every once in a while I'll patrol back there and check it out physically. So we're watching these cameras and we see this light. It looks like somebody's got a flashlight and they're flashing the light through this, like all this roughage. And my partner looks at me and goes, dude, you got to check that out. We even rewound the footage, and he goes, look at that. That's somebody flashing a flashlight through there. They're going to break in. They're going to get through the fence, and you need to go back there and scare them off or something. And we need to call the camera company, and they can call the cops, whatever. So we're planning all this stuff, and I'm getting ready to go out there. And, I've got this reflective vest on, but other than that, I'm wearing all black. And so I go back there and I'm thinking there's probably somebody back there, because we're looking at this footage, and it really does. It looks like somebody's got a flashlight and they're looking through there. And they're getting ready to break in. So I go back there and I'm kind of creeped out already. I know there might be somebody, because somebody broke in like a couple of weeks ago, and there's rumors that somebody got killed back there. And so I'm like, okay, who knows what's going to happen. So I go back there and I don't see anything. I'm looking everywhere and I don't see anything. And he's calling me on the radio, and he's like, okay, go a little bit further up and see what you see over there, because that's where we saw the lights. So I'm walking and I'm following his lead, and I don't see anything. But then, I start feeling like creeped out, and I'm like, I don't know about this right now, man. This is creepy. I don't see anything, but I'm feeling like creeped out, So it could just because it's dark or whatever. And he calls me on the radio. It's like, hey, dude, come back right now. Come back right now. I need to show you something. So I'm like, oh, okay, what was that all about? So I'm going in between these two trailers, and it's super dark out here. You got to understand. After you get past the lights where the cameras are, it's like pitch black. So I turn around because I thought I heard something, and I turn around real quick and I look over, and I thought I saw like a shadow pass by me. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm seeing things now. So I get back to the patrol car and I'm driving over there as fast as I can. And when I get there, it's him and another dude that I work with. And they're like, dude, you're going to freak out when you see this. Okay. And I'm like, what? And they're like, there was like a apparition of some kind that crossed right past you and looked at you and then kept walking and then looked back at you and then went into the bushes. And I'm like, what? I'm like, get out of here. You guys are on crack. And we watched this thing over and over and over. And I'm like, you know what, dude?
What time of night was that?
It was like
1 in the morning,
it was like 3 o'clock in the morning.
3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Man.
So and I was just like, wow, that's trippy. I mean, it could be anything. It could be, double exposure, a lens flare or some shit like that. I don't know. But I haven't seen anything like that before, recently. And also there was a truck driver that went back in the same area, and he went around the same exact area wearing the same reflective vest that I had on, and there was nothing like that, not anything.
Oh, if you have that footage, that would be good too, if you can get a hold of that.
I'm going to try to get a hold of that.
Yeah. That's actually really pretty good too, just to compare and see the angle, because maybe they were trying to separate way, but that would help as well, And also another question really quick was, when you said you kind of felt creeped out, do you time that with the,
that's the thing is I have no idea.
You're in one place. Yeah. So you're in your own place and you don't know, and you feel creeped out but they're recording it and some other things. So, and that's something again to notice.
These guys were convinced.
Let's look at this real quick though. Ralph, here, talk us through it real quick one more time.
Okay.
So
there I am. Well, yeah, and that, the yellowish looking, I'm wearing all black though.
Mhm.
Look, so I'm walking to look at it looked like it just came up and appeared out of nowhere, and it passes by me, and it looks like it goes in a different direction than I go. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Well, here's the one thing I noticed though is at the very, very, very end. If you watch at the very end of this, I'm sorry for people listening. You'll have to go and come to our YouTube and check this shit out. You turn around. Is that when you thought you noticed something?
Yeah.
Okay.
That
Now,
was
if
about
you watch
time.
the reflection doesn't stop moving when you turn.
Mm-mm.
It appears to still be going.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
I noticed that too. And the guys,
Oh, sorry.
the guys that called me to check it out, they were like convinced that it was some form of apparition. And till this, I mean, this is like a week later, there's still people coming up to me and going, dude, I don't want to go back there because of what you showed me.
So
Yeah, I'm sure you get a lot of that. A lot of people that, and I'm sure all the people in the paranormal industry get a lot of that. People that are like, check out this video. You know what I mean? And so,
I have my friends that are on that show. They're doing it. They're getting paid to watch these videos right now. You know, on Paranormal Caught on Camera. So they're out there, and believe me, they're getting hit up all the time. And that's it. You know, they don't need more, but they see it.
That's the first thing I told the people that I work with. I'm like, yeah, that, you know, there's probably an explanation for that. You know what I mean? The first thing I thought of was like, maybe it's similar to like double exposure or something like that. And, you know, but they were adamant about it. They're like, no, dude, it's a ghost. It's haunted back there. And this is proof. And you need to tell somebody. And,
you know, you work there. So if you're there and you have some kind of experience, document it. And break out your phone. Everybody, everyone's got this, and we can record audio, we can record video, we can take a bunch of pictures to help make sure that we don't look crazy. So
I think we look crazy no matter what.
Well, that's a cool thing though, because even if you think like you said, you look at it, you see pretty obvious correlations, but at the end of the day, the scientific method is prove it wrong. We find one that may be, but go keep trying and see if you can repeat it. See if you can find other things. Regardless, like you said, it's fun. It's good.
It is fun. It is fun. Yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say, to me, it doesn't personally matter because it's based on what people believe. You know what I mean? It
is.
It's a personal belief and experience. People believe in aliens. I hate to say this. A lot of people believe in God, and some people think that that's silly. You know what I mean? Because it's invisible. You know what I mean? You're putting your faith into something that you can't necessarily, but some people think there's proof. But once again, with ghost, it's the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really based on belief systems and,
Oh yeah, and again, your own experiences, and that's why don't knock those personal things. And there are ways to kind of prove it. I've done this before where I was in Linda Vista Hospital, and I walked down the hallway, and where you were talking about getting the chills, you get the chills right around this one area. So I stay quiet, and I walk back, and I send my friend down. Actually, I had a friend and his son who had never done this before, and I said, I want you to walk down the hallway and come back, and tell me what you think. And they did that and came back, and they're like, I kind of felt the chills. So those are experiments that you can do where they're personal experiences, a chill, a touch, hair moves. Again, things we can't prove to other people, but we can experience them at the same time. I've been in locations where we do experience things at the same time. And we either are discussing it within our group. Another technique, I guess, to do when we go out is don't say anything, bring a notepad, write things down, and then after a certain time, get together. And then if you're writing down the same thing, like, I think there's something in the corner, or I felt this, and someone else is saying the same thing, that's another way to collaborate your stories and kind of build up on some of the evidence.
Have you had experiences like that?
I have.
That's so weird, dude.
Yeah. So, I mean, especially, again, I've been doing this for a long time, and it's funny, I've experienced recordings, a full body apparition that I could pretty much tell you is a person, but it wasn't, but your mind can't like my mind can't come to the terms that it really wasn't a person because it looked like a person. But I had someone with me who was there that, you know, we both saw someone walking, and we were on the Hornet up in San Francisco, San Jose, and saw somebody walking. We thought it was a friend of ours. Within 2 seconds, our friend walks through the door asking what's going on. And we're like, what? We just thought it was you walking. And we jumped up, and it was a mess hall area. So there was nowhere to go. There was no person. So, but in my mind, I can still picture a person, not a ghost. So, and yeah, and those kind of techniques where you're, you know, again, because touching is a really big thing. And it just, you know, even when we're constantly recording things, you can tag, you know, the way you feel and things, and just kind of record it along the way. And sometimes you're like, oh, like I was in Gettysburg, one of my favorite places to go, and I have to find the recording. It's been so many years, but I was walking across a bridge after I'd gotten lost in the woods, and I was walking across a bridge, and I felt this chill. So I made this sound on my recording. I was like, oh, you know, and I tagged it. I said, that's me making a sound because I just got a chill. And right after on the recording, it said, don't go. It was a man's voice that said, don't go. And I listened to it at the airport. So I was already been gone, and I felt so bad. Whenever I'm back there, I take a time and I go back to that place, and I just sit there because it's nice, you know, to do. So that was one of my favorite moments that I've ever had, you know. So
in your experience, as what has been caught on camera, is that the same as what is being experienced as it's happening, like live? You know what I'm saying? Like, in other words, the reason I bring it up is because while this was being recorded, this specific clip, they were watching it. They were watching me through the video cameras, and they saw it happen as it happened. Now, in your experience, is that something that's normal, or is it usually, oh, we couldn't see it while it was happening, but later on we watched it and we saw this weird thing?
Yeah.
Come in, Ray.
Pittman! I saw it!
It's right here, Ray. It's looking at me.
He's an ugly little spud, isn't he?
I think he can hear you, Ray.
Well, that's just the nature of a lot of people, what they're doing. They're not really viewing their evidence real time, right? So that's.
But these guys were. That's
right, as part of your job. And some of these videos that you see come out in, you know, in different formats, you know, it is someone watching a camera, you know, so live is kind of rare, but yeah, it's something's going to happen, and then you want to review it. And unfortunately, too, I think, you know, think about the time it took for someone to see it, and then to contact you to say, hey, I saw it. Things transpire between that, you know, that time where we can forget things. You might have seen something had you known right away, like, you know, if they were on a walkie-talkie right away saying, dude, something just flew by you, you'd be like, you know, you might have the opportunity to say, you know, I just had something weird happen. And that could have been a better collaboration of something possibly paranormal. But see, you know, time passes, we forget things that we see and do, to kind of lose that, you know, that basis to kind of prove it to be more something paranormal than to shine it off, you know. And it's hard because you don't have any audio on that camera either, and you don't have your reaction, you know, to it. You just have that straight, you know, I'm walking, and plus you're really blinded, but you lose kind of your detail in that video. It's hard, you know, to kind of really give it credit. Don't take away from your experience ever, though.
Well, and using the word
No,
like for, like you said, we're talking about something that isn't really 100% truly provable anyways. I mean, we're talking about afterlife and spirits and possible dust clouds, and, you know, it's like, okay, well, that could.
Isn't that the greatest?
It's fun though. It's, I mean, I enjoy that. Like, it's because and here's my thing with it when it comes to that stuff, whether the video is real or fake or anything, whether people believe it or not. You've spent 15 years doing it. There's been countless other people doing years of stuff, and there's been techniques designed and stuff that has apparently gotten some results for something. So it's obviously there's testable shit out there. So why would we go
everything from an Etch-a-Sketch to
exactly.
PlayStation technology?
I mean,
there's everything.
For fuck's sakes, this video. I mean, Ralph had it for 2 seconds. We were like, holy shit! Now we're talking to you. We're finding out. I mean, it opens a world of anything. It opens a world of your imagination to find out what something is more out there.
Yeah. Well, that's the funny part of it, is that I'm the first skeptic. Out of all the skeptics, I was the first one, and I still am. You know what I mean? So that's why.
That's good though.
That's why I wanted to do this, because it wasn't about, oh man, I thought this was a real ghost for sure. So
yeah, so you have two different experiences. You have that view, and then you have your personal view that you weren't able to kind of capture anything with. And that's not to say, oh, this is what it is, and stop. Right. So don't focus too much on that, but take it, and when you're working, be more open to things, and kind of notice. You might find that when you go past a certain area, your attention's drawn to it. And that's what happens with me. I worked with psychics, and I'm like a puppy. I don't know anything. They're like, there's 3 guys in the corner over there. And I'm like, so, but I'll walk by the room, and I'm like, something's drawing my attention over here. I don't know what it is. So it just, and that's that scientific part, build on it. That's one of the things that I love to pursue more when someone has an experience, is especially if it's a place you work, you can kind of pursue it more. I know you don't review the video a lot, but maybe whoever does the video is say, keep an eye. If you see anything similar to this, let me see it. Because if all of a sudden one day no one's around and you see that same thing going and it goes a different direction, that could be something, in itself. And that's going to offer additional evidence that can debunk what I'm debunking here, right? So you pursuing things with different formats too. Again, just a different, with nobody there, or maybe filming or, recording on the ground from your point of view and capturing something else. Like you say, you saw like what you thought was a flash of light, or, so if you can capture something else and pursue that, you might be able to capture something that's viable for you to know, and for you to, to prove, to show someone else. And these experiences will constantly change your thought in what you, in what you believe, like the paranormal or the afterlife to kind of be, I think if anything, it makes me less afraid of things, especially with this pandemic going on, all this death around us and everything. It gives you a different perspective of things. And so,
well, though, I gotta believe the more you experience that stuff, and the more you become, entwined with that world, it is comforting to know, like, dude, there's something more,
Exactly.
It might change, but we're going somewhere. And it appears that when you go there, you get to run through walls.
You could do whatever you want, apparently. I'm like, I'd love to have that really good evidence. Like there's that story of who's the Houdini. How he gave his wife a number, she's got a code, and that he was really big into seances. Yeah. And if that ever comes out, like, that's what you really want. You want that, that holy grail of like evidence, to come out. So there's that too. We all want to have that kind of proof, and that's kind of what drives a lot of people, for your own, everyone's got different reasons, whether it's entertainment value, a spiritual thing, something personal, a loss or something that you experienced that you want to kind of get to know. And we all come from different backgrounds. We all do different things. It's a common interest that we have that brings us all together, and it's fun, I love meeting people along the way too that have similar interests. It's great. You never get tired of it.
That's what I was talking about earlier. There's a lot of people that I meet through this life that are like, they're like, oh, you start talking to them about this kind of thing, and they're like, oh, I believe in it, man. You have no idea. I believe in it. I've had these experiences. And then, like you said, they start telling you stories, and
Yes.
before you know it, you're going back and forth, and everybody's telling each other stories. And, oh, I had this happen to me when I was this old, and I had this happen to me when I was that old. And, you know, so everybody's telling these stories, and everybody's like, yeah, oh, wow, that would creep me out. And, yeah, dude, the hair on the back of my neck was standing up. I'm like, sure, you know. But it is, I think that's what people are looking for. That's why there's so many paranormal shows, TV shows out there, and ghost hunting shows out there, because people want to see evidence that it's true. They don't want to hear a story. They want to, I mean, they do, but they want to see proof. Yeah. So that's why I thought, well, this would be kind of cool to put this video out there, because I could tell you all day long, well, I'm walking down this, you know, dark alley and I saw this, or I felt this way. But when you have something where you can go, well, look at this. Yeah. You know, it's not something you see every day. Maybe it is. I don't know. But do most people have a video? I showed it to one girl that I work with, and she goes, man, I'm so jealous. I wish I had a video like that. And that's the funny part of it.
Video evidence is really hard to come by, you know, because again, there's too much technology and people that know things. It's easy to create a ghost in a video. Right. So, you know, how do you authenticate something where the technology is out there, that, you know, to be creative and to create the things? And that's unfortunately what keeps some of the things, you know, down. And that's why I kind of said in the beginning, unless you can really, you know, not be able to debunk the debunk part, you can't really push it to the side of paranormal just yet. Yeah. Yeah. So,
but even video, the great thing about videos like this is even then, I mean, we've all seen the famous, hey, look, we got footage of Bigfoot walking across and stop and does the, you know, you expect him to do a little dance in front of the camera, you know, and after years later, you're like, that looks hokey as shit. Yet it still opens up the discussion. It still makes you think and imagine and wonder what could come. And, you know, so it's like, regardless of whether even Ralph's video, it doesn't matter. Look at all of the stuff we get to talk about and all of the experience we share. We still find commonalities. Like Ralph said, everybody has their experience. Does everybody go, no, you're full of shit? It's like, no, listen to what everybody has experienced, and that says something.
Yeah, look what it's done.
Yes.
A week ago, this didn't happen, and now we're talking about it, and look what it can lead to.
Right.
And so that's why keep the open mind and build on your experiences, because it's fun and it takes you different places. So, you know, never let it take you away from your own personal experiences and the reactions. And it's fun. You're gonna have this to show and get the you know, the impressions of people. That's something to kind of build on too, and what people's reactions are to it. That's always a fun thing to, you know, you're surveying people, you're kind of getting their input on what they think. And so as you know, as people who do podcasts, and you're building on that, you know, it's an experience to kind of learn on, and that makes it all kind of fun. Again, I take a lot of things at entertainment level too. So, and I prefer to go and experience things for myself,
right?
You know, so if any place interests you, we have a lot of local places that, you know, in California, Southern California, Northern California, that you can go to. And there's the East Coast is great. You know, I got friends doing some events now that are safe. If you have East Coast viewers, there's in going to promote. I definitely will promote an event that I go to every year called Michigan Paracon. It's in Michigan, up in Sault Ste. Marie on the Canadian border. It's at the end of August. We should all be safe by then. And it gathers a lot of people. They're going to have this year the entire cast of Ghost Nation, Ghost Brothers, Holter Files, and you know, and some other shows. The full cast are going to be there. So it'd be great if you guys had the opportunity to come and join us and bring your show along and interview people who've done and experienced different things. You know, if it's something that interests you, it's a great opportunity. It's really fun. We just hang out, drink a lot of really cheap alcohol because it's cheap up there. And it's a definitely big hangout, but we learn a lot too, you know, from genealogy to history to, you know, just, you know, different spiritual kind of, you know, thought aspects too.
You said that was in Michigan?
Kind of fun. It's Michigan. Yeah. So it's miparacon.com. They're also on Facebook. a great, I mean, there's hundreds of people that they're bringing up there. So I can't wait. It's at the end of August. And it's great. It's at a casino. So we fill the whole entire place to ourselves. It's wonderful. And you have a great opportunity to kind of, pick everyone's brains and ask questions and get to know a lot about, not just paranormal, but other, other areas of, there's Bigfoot people, there's UFO people, and just their thoughts on all different crazy topics that you can just have fun with and go to town with. It'd be a great place to do your show.
Yeah, because you could really find some really cool guests and have some really cool conversations like this. You could almost get round tables, and that might be something.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that broadcast from there too. They'll do their show right from the exhibition floor, so to speak, and that's fun because you can grab people along the way and arrange to to kind of have really good interviews with a lot of kind of well-known. I don't really want to call them celebrities, or kind of my friends, and but shows that are on TV that people have an interest in.
Yeah.
And you can solicit what people want to know and ask away and have fun with it all. So that's gonna be I think that timing's good because that's when we're really going to be free to do things.
Yeah, it's looking like that's when it's going to add, like when it's going to line up too.
We can do stuff here, if it's quiet and we wear like 1,000 masks. I think I have good protection. If anything comes up locally, like your place of work, I like to drive, we can drive out there.
Dude, are we allowed to drive in California yet? Have they opened?
I drive. I don't have anywhere to go, but I drive. I like go around in a circle. I don't go anywhere.
So this is me walking. I'm all in all black. And that is I'm just wearing a vest, a reflective safety vest, but it's a black vest with gray strips, basically. So the reflective strips are gray. So I'm all black, but the light catches the reflective vest. That's it.
So that was my question. So, so my initial thought is, is you are wearing something reflective. So with IR light, anything like a flashlight or a phone or anything is going to reflect back on that camera at that bright light, right? So that was the question, is what are you wearing? Now, what you're telling me actually makes a little bit more sense, because striped, like this black vest with the stripes. So I'm thinking that they're.
What's that?
Are the stripes vertical on the vest?
Yes, exactly.
So, okay. So, because my thought is, okay, so the video is playing right now, and you're getting, as you're coming closer, you're getting brighter to the camera. And right at some point, that other figure almost seems, and you can tell me, line up with almost the pattern of the vest, because it seems as though it's kind of a reflection, like of our camera of the vest, kind of like a flash from it. So, yeah, and because it also kind of moves, see, if you see it, it's kind of moving in the same distance and proportion that as you're coming closer, it's going away. So that's kind of really what it seems like with that camera. And
so you think it's just a reflection of his
I do.
Okay,
now,
so you think it's almost like a double exposure type thing?
Yeah, and that's what it looks like. So if you what, I don't know what your vest looks like, because you're just a kind of a glowing, orb thing that's kind of walking toward the camera. But what you just said kind of confirms, because that's what that figure looks like. It looks like a little square with, lines going away. So it definitely looks like some kind of double exposure, or like a flash or reflection from that camera.
Yeah, there it is,
as
right there,
the light is.
here.
Yeah. Because that light, you're also getting brighter, so it's catching that reflection of the vest. See, right there, those lines kind of correspond to the shape of that reflection that's going in the other direction. So it's not really going, I don't think it's going in the other direction. I think it's kind of going up the camera.
Okay.
Oh, and we're perceiving it as it moving away. It's just a reflection climbing.
I think
the lens.
so.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you think it's more like a lens flare kind of situation?
I do think that. So now the other thing that's outside of what evidence we can see or share with other people is, what did you experience anything? Because right now I think that can be debunked, but you're working in a place that's big and it's in an older place. You are telling me that there's influences of homeless people and people breaking in. But if you're working there, do you have other experiences outside of this?
No, there's just really, I have seen some objects, but that could be a personal experience. You know what I mean? So I have seen some.
All about
that night I did actually see a figure, and but that doesn't mean anything. That could have been just a shadow, just like this. It could have been what we're talking about, or it could have not been.
Now, Ralph, I want to interject here because when he sent me the video originally, we were talking. I wanted to get into this because I think it's important. Ralph, you said you guys responded to what you thought was flashlights on the ground.
Right.
And then when you saw the apparition, or what we thought was the apparition / now reflection, we don't know. We thought about, though, the possibility of orbs. What is that possible? Like, how does that work?
Yeah,
orbs. No, that doesn't. It does. So most orbs that people kind of feel that they have evidence for can be debunked because there's too many outside factors that influence the orb mentality. There's dust, bugs, lens flares. There's so many. So you really, and in my opinion, unless you can really debunk or prove out the things that it could be, you can't really say it's paranormal.
Right.
Because that's really what paranormal is. It's like we can't really definitively say it's something. We can say what it's not. So unless we can rule out with certainty that that it wasn't A, B, or C, then we can't rule that it's paranormal. And I know people can go further with that, but but personal experience is important too. And I never think you should rule that out. One of the things when I started getting into paranormal was, oh, look, I'm going to prove to you that ghosts exist. I have my equipment, I have my recorder, I have my K, my K meter, I have everything, my EFF stuff, and I want the bells and whistles. But all of a sudden, something comes by and touches you, and you have this sensation, and you can't prove that to anybody, but it happened, and that's what a lot of people will experience. And so it started to get to be like, I don't need to prove it to you. I need to understand things for myself. And that's what makes this field so fun, is just going and enjoying it for your own knowledge and your own beliefs. And great, if you can feel something that touches you and then have some other source, like, a camera or infrared, light, or some kind of other piece of evidence, recording that kind of collaborates what you're experiencing, that's even better, but in that part, it's hard to do. So recordings, there's certain pieces of evidence that are more, stick with the evidence that are more revealing to people, like recordings. And pictures are hard because we can't prove pictures. And videos are good.
But even videos
but in cases like this,
tougher, right? I mean, especially
well, because you can do things with them. And unfortunately, once you can debunk one thing, it's hard to get to prove other things that are more real, or that could potentially be real.
Well, that's interesting that you say that, because honestly, I find that to be a double-edged sword in a way, because you can't prove what someone's telling you that they feel is, a legitimate claim. You know what I mean? They're saying to you, oh, this is how I felt. I could tell you, oh, I got a chill down my spine, and, all of a sudden I felt like this, like, weird spirit feeling, and like someone was there with me. But the truth is whether or not that was the case, I can't prove that. I can't prove it. You know what I mean? So just like we can't prove that this video is double exposure, or what do they call it, a lens flare, or it could be, most likely it is. However, there is a chance that it is not. And how do we prove that? Well, we can't.
Christine, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to have to call it because I do have to leave. But this was actually really freaking fun, man. Ralph, I'm so glad you got haunted, kind of.
Hey, you got haunted.
Thanks for coming on, Kristen. We
I
appreciate
want to hear the
it.
next
Really
story. So keep it going. Keep your phone next to you and let's see what you can
Yeah,
get
this
next.
is ongoing paranormal investigation now. We have to do segments.
Yes. Yes, that'll be fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, always a good reason to brush my hair and dress up a little bit and
good.
wear pants, that kind of thing. I need a reason to do that. So
I
find
think
something
we all
else
do
and then
right
come
now.
back.
Christine, thank you for
Oh,
coming.
thank you.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
information. And I'm so glad this happened. It was so nice to meet you. Hopefully we can have some more talks and get you on again. And I'm not going to lie. I'm going to look into this Paracon. How'd you say it? What was it called?
Yes, it's Michigan Paracon.
Michigan
And the
Paracon.
other thing too, if you have East Coast viewers, a really good friend of mine, Brian Cano, look at www.neverstopsearching.com. He's actually got some safe events. Fort Mifflin, which is in Pennsylvania, and Ohio State Reformatory he's planning on doing, which is in Ohio. It's where they filmed Shawshank Redemption. So he's got some other events coming up. I know we're kind of closed up here, but if you have viewers that are elsewhere, those are things I know that are going on. So they can go and have fun and we can hear about it. And then when time permits, and if you guys are interested, you're local, we can always set something up to create your own experience locally and safely here too.
Go on a ghost hunt?
So yeah, we can ghost hunt.
Dude.
Absolutely.
That'd be fun.
I'm
That'd be a
not
lot of
far
fun.
from you.
No,
You guys
We're in
have
the
haunted
same- we're in the
places
same
out by
area,
you.
yeah.
Yeah,
That'd
you guys, there's places by you guys. We can always find a place, to go and explore and see what we can come up with. So
I'm totally
absolutely.
down.
So
Let's make this happen. At some point.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah, and then keep in
Sounds good.
touch, and I'll get you some other people if you want to talk with other people and expand on some of these things. I have some good resources
Oh,
for you.
absolutely. I'm totally down.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm fascinated by this stuff. So,
Yeah.
Oh, good.
so for
So-
listeners,
Yeah,
if
and
you're not
music
into
too.
it-
You got to be playing your music in the background. Come on, is that what you guys chime out with? Is your music?
Oh yeah, technically it'd be playing right now. We just do it in post.
Okay.
Yeah, I do all post.
I want to hear that too.
Yeah, no, we'll have
I'm a
that,
metal.
yeah.
I'm a metal chick.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Ralph, you
will.
are now Ralph
Be the
Busso,
first one.
paranormal investigator. Dun, dun, dun.
Ta-da.
All right.
Hey guys. Well, a lot's happened since yesterday, and I'm sure a lot more is going to happen.
Oh yeah,
From here on out.
developing stories.
So.
Christine, once again, thanks for coming. This was so much fun.
Thank you for having me. It was
Thanks,
fun.
Christine. We'll
Have a
have you
great
back
day.
soon.
Absolutely.
We had fun.
Absolutely. All right, everybody.
Cheers.
I hope you enjoyed this. Spooky stories, scary stuff. Take care of each other. Go check out all the stuff we were talking about. Go look up your favorite ghost stories. Let us know. What ghost stories did you guys have? I'm going to point at the camera and not point up here. Why am I?
Let us know what you think about
Yeah,
the video. Do you
exactly.
think it's just, it's a rational explanation, or do you think it was an actual ghost?
Yep. Did you guys have
Um,
any ghost stories? Did it look anything similar to what Ralph had? Let us know. We're going to have Christine back because she's got more stories to tell. And I'm not even going to lie. I think we're going to have her take us on a ghost hunt. That's too fun not to do. We got to do this shit, dude. I got to figure out logistics, but it's coming. We're going to do this. A lot's happened since yesterday. Ghost hunt. Watch out for it.
Sounds
We
like
can do
fun
it.
to me.
Until then, everybody, take care of yourselves. Be good humans. Peace.
Peace out, people.